Hello, everyone, all teachers out there in the Charans School network and anyone joining us for the first time. My name is Jim Slaughter. I'm a professor of education at the University of Toronto, and I'm representing a team of researchers here who all think about new ways of teaching and learning, sometimes using technology, sometimes not. And we've been working in partnership with many of you for the past 8 months or so. I'm going to speak very quickly today to sort of rehearse where we've been and maybe talk a little about where we're going. So the overall idea here was that we would help ourselves think about the students in our classrooms. We would think together with our peers about the issues that are in those students' lives and also about our teaching. What methods are we using now? How are those methods working or not working to empower students and to give them voice about those issues? We would think about our curriculum. What topics in our courses right now would be best suited for those kind of inquiry lessons? And how could we emphasize in those lessons student action, student voice, and 21st century skills? We learned about a new approach called critical action that my group has been developing, and some examples of that. And then we met in small groups to start brainstorming activities. So in that work, we did talk a bit about these 21st century competencies like critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and talked about how it's very difficult to design curriculum with those competencies at the center. So these aren't just new things that you have to cover in your curriculum, but they're actually new ways of learning where students collaborate or think critically in the learning. And that way they learn both the content and also gain those skills. This is not an easy thing to do. And there's typically a trade-off when you have those kind of deep learning projects that you can't cover quite as much breadth. So this makes it a real challenge. We talked about how teaching is many things: telling students, showing them, helping them, engaging them, inspiring them, empowering them, and most importantly of all, caring for them. And we encountered a new idea of critical action where education can be thought of as preparing children for an uncertain future. And in order to do that, it needs to empower them as future makers. So the critical action approach aims to help students understand the past and the present, to imagine a better future, and to develop the capabilities of making that future come true. We presented you one possible approach of storytelling that was used by colleagues of mine to help students gain voice about their feelings and their reaction to the COVID-19 as it was happening in their own lives. Then we broke into small groups, and as a team, we thought about what issues our students would be confronting, whether that's climate change, farm security, democracy, poverty. We also talked about how the educational system today might not be helping address those issues or helping support students. And some of the issues that we named in those groups are here in this word cloud. Obviously, climate change is a big one, and but some of the smaller ones are interesting too, from equity and violence, digital literacy, politics of food, family issues, gender. We collected all the ideas that you gave us about how your teaching methods or the learning approaches might be limitations in helping bring these issues into school. And things that you named were the lecturing and teacher-centered methods, not much use of technology, focusing on exams and textbooks, just more old-fashioned rote learning, no hands-on training. So there were these kind of issues, but also some external factors like the limited time, the huge demands of the syllabus, and the fact that school is still fairly formal in nature and the teachers don't have a lot of preparation for this kind of teaching and learning. We continued on in our small groups. We brainstormed activities. So groups would take an issue like, in this case, food, and they would brainstorm issues about how that could be addressed in a new kind of learning or a new kind of lesson for their curriculum. Here's another photo from that. It was a great day before we had to all go online. We were able to get together in person. And some of the ideas that you came up with for how to bring these issues into your classroom, from role play, we have student-centered strategies, debates and awareness, active learning, storytelling. These were all ideas that you came up with. And from there, we had you join design groups and hopefully make some progress on the new lesson that you would be designing. Now, where are we now and where are we going next? So in the coming weeks, here's some things we hope can happen. First of all, that we would make more progress on those initial designs. We may not be very far along, but we can start by completing the questionnaire immediately after this video. I think we have 4 questions that can help you think, first of all, where you are right now, and maybe even add a little bit more thinking to where you could go with your lesson design. Then maybe meet with collaborators if you have a group, to get together with them, either online or face-to-face, as well as with leaders from my group here. We're very willing and interested in doing that. Finally, just to get a Google Doc set up with your early ideas. Some of you have done this already. You might even remember from the workshops that we had a Google Doc template, and we would use that template for each design, each lesson design, because it had some nice guidelines on there that can help us think. So to try to get that set up in the next week or so, we can then build on that document in coming weeks. There's no need to get this completed, but to at least get it started. Then on November 1st, we will meet together to celebrate what we've done so far. We're going to give you a certificate of completion from the CALE group. This basically certifies that you have participated in this process and that you have made some progress on designing a new curriculum lesson. After that, for the next week or so, we hope we will meet in small groups. We can get support from a CALE team member, even perhaps there face-to-face. And then for the next 2 weeks or so after that, the next 6 weeks after that, to work on our designs and help add more substance and detail to those Google Docs. Finally, sometime in mid-December, that we would get together again just to celebrate our progress, and maybe some groups could share their designs with the others. The idea is that we would then be almost ready to use these with our students, maybe in the new year. So that's it for today. I hope you remembered all of what I said from previously, but if you didn't, I hope I was able to remind. And just want to thank you again for your interest in this, and I look forward to seeing you all in meetings over the coming weeks. Thanks.